Welcome to the webinar about the San Jose State MBT program. So here you see a little bit of the San Jose State campus. And let me see if I can get the laser pointer, because that's always giving me a hard time otherwise. Okay, so this is the new student union. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Professional Science Masters of Biotechnology. And that is a degree that combines the science as well as the business of biotech. So let's get started. So why an MBT degree? So basically biotechnology, and you might be aware, is the application of science and technology to living organisms. So it deals with a lot of different areas. So we have pharmaceuticals, diagnostics, research, personalized medicine, medical innovation, biofuels, testing, and wholesale, and that's only a few areas. So it's a very complex industry in the Silicon Valley that has a lot of things, and this is just a basic definition. So nationwide, California is #1 in biotechnology, and it has over 3,400 companies. And you can see here in the various states how many employees. So here's the state, and California is ranked #1. And so then you can see there's tremendous growth going on until 2020. It was 12.7% growth. The only state was more was Texas, but they started a lot lower. And so there's a lot of establishments in the life sciences. So you have agriculture, medical devices and equipment, and research. So there's a lot of different types of life sciences. So the total life science establishment is 12,000 here. And most of them are basically research testing and a lot of science related distribution. So the wages are really, really high, and that's very interesting to a lot of students. So wages are highest in the Silicon Valley. So here are some of the areas in Silicon Valley, some of the counties. So Alameda County, you can find about an average wage of $150,688 a year. This is, of course, not an entry-level wage, but they've definitely a wage, after you've been established. Santa Clara is even higher, and the highest one is in San Mateo, which is $322,000. So that's a lot higher than a professor would make here in San Jose State. So there's a lot of possibilities, and you have a lot of possibilities to earn quite a bit of money. And like I said, once you're in there for a while. Then there's a lot of different types of employment. You find the direct employment. So these are 313,230 positions, which means these are directly involved with the biotech industry. There's some indirect employment, which is upstream of the biotech industry that produce all the things they use, like media, cells, all the things that are used in the biotech industry. There's even more. And then the induced employment is downstream, which has to do with sales and, getting instruments distributed. So there's a lot of different areas of employment. So the MBT degree has a lot of possibilities. So the Masters of Biotechnology is basically a special degree because it combines hands-on science and business. So and it has been started in 2003, and we do have the initial MBA classes. We also have some laboratory classes and classes in toxicology and other sciences. So this one shows you the position of the MBT in Silicon Valley. So it's a very unique position because there's 4 things that help us along here. First is the geography. So San Jose State is positioned in the middle of Silicon Valley, and it's a very short drive to all the different companies. So Agilent is just down the road on Stevens Creek. Genentech and Roche is just down the road in San Francisco. So you have nowhere that is very far away. So you can get a lot of different internship positions very close to this area. You can get a lot of different jobs. So that's why we are pretty good in the geography. So jobs also, as we said, the highest concentration of biotechnology jobs worldwide. So it's very high. And so you have a lot of possibilities. So 90% of our graduates are employed when they graduate because people are always looking for the next employee. There's a lot of networking opportunities. We have strong industry relations, and you can network with a lot of different people. There's a lot of network events in the Silicon Valley. So there's a lot of things going on. Also, there's continuous growth. So the industry continues to grow. There's more opportunities every year that come around. All right. So here is our 2-year program planner. So this is your 2-year degree. The MBT curriculum is a 2-year curriculum. And you start the first fall. And what you do is you start with a seminar on biotech products, which involves writing, also involves catching you up on marketing, intellectual property, finance, and other things. The second one is advanced bioinformatics, which tells you a little bit about computer science. So it teaches how to main databases and all the main databases that we have. And then we have the first business class, which is the management of innovation in the biotech sector. It's also the first MBA class. So this is focused on business, but the instructor has had experience with working in biotech companies. So that's your first year. It's pretty busy. Classes normally are in the night after work, starting at 6, and normally go for 3 hours. They're once a week, but they're also homework to do. So it's a pretty busy start. The next spring, what you do is you learn about the drug device development process. We have a lot of different speakers from industry that come in and talk about manufacturing, talk about pharmacology, preclinical, and all kinds of different things. Then we have advanced molecular techniques, which is the class that teaches you a little bit more about the molecular biology techniques that are current in the industry that you need to know. So there's a lot of that. Then we have operations management, which is the second MBA class, which teaches you more about business and how you can set up a business. During the summer, we ask you to look for an internship. You can also have an internship the following year, depending on if you can find something that is that is good for you. And then also we ask you to come up with a startup idea. So we don't really have a thesis for this program, but you have to come up with a startup idea as a team. And so that will be the basis of your business plan that you work on. So instead of a thesis, we have a business plan that you work on in the second year, and that way you apply all the things you learned about marketing and finance. So this idea, you're going to submit to the Silicon Valley Innovation Challenge in the second year, and then you go there with the team. And we also have an entrepreneurship class. That is the biotech company management class. And here you learn how to develop a business plan. So it's taught by an entrepreneur who's been ahead of many, many different companies. And he will teach you how to put together an oral business plan and make a pitch. So then you will go to the Silicon Valley Innovation Challenge and you meet a lot of other people in the industry, a lot of business people. And people have already found investors for their ideas in that particular place as well. You also will have the finance, which is managerial finance. That's the second part of finance. And then you can take an elective. And you have a choice to take an MBA, executive MBA elective, one each semester if you're really interested in the business. Here we also have immunological techniques, and we have some other electives that you can take in the science side. So then you have your last semester. So here comes back our entrepreneur. She teaches you about fundraising. And then you have the community experience class where we talk about resumes, and we talk about how to get a job. We have mock interviews, we have LinkedIn. So we have a lot of different activities to get you ready for the job market. And again, you can take an elective. Here we have regulatory affairs. We have a Python class, and you can take another MBA elective if you like. So that is the 2-year program. Here in the next slide, it shows you a little bit more of the 2-year roadmap. So here's your 1 fall courses, your first year spring courses. And so each of these times you take 3, but it's quite a bit of work. Then you have the 2 ADT internship in the summer and working with your team, and then comes year 2, and eventually that will lead you to graduation. So this is a 2-year program, and it's not going to be any longer than 2 years. All right, so here's some of the seminars. So the Biology 202 seminar is called the Biotech Seminar, and we take you through business and other parts of the biotech industry. So we have the development process, which involves the research and development, product development, clinical development, and also regulatory affairs, how to get a drug approved. Intellectual property, we have a patent lawyer come in that will talk to you about patents, manufacturing, business development, quality control and assurance, so all the parts of biotech. And eventually you have the business plan as your common experience. So here you can see Mark Schwartz, he's the entrepreneur that teaches, and he's very good at teaching. He loves it, and he keeps people busy every time he meets them, so it keeps everybody engaged. So then we also have science electives. So if you want to stick more with the science, you can take advanced immunological techniques. As I said, we have pharmacology if you're interested online, regulatory affairs, Python. And if you want to do research, you can look for a faculty member and do research with them that if they have room for you, it will give them some money for your supplies. So this will not be a thesis, but it will be a project that you can do. So you have the options to do that. So here are some of the business electives. So anything from project management to marketing management, the involvement manager, the operation and supply chain management, some accounting, financials, and marketing. So there's a lot of different ones, whatever you can fit in your schedule. And here you have an example of our entries in the Silicon Valley Innovation Challenge. This is Amanda, and this is Safwan. And they came up with a system that tests for toxic substances in wastewater that can be used in developing countries. So here it's called Soludex, and it's cheap enough to do it. And they got the People's Choice Award that year. Then we have more of the pictures from the Silicon Valley Innovation Challenge. So basically what we try to teach you is how an entrepreneurship mindset, and that you don't really have to become a CEO, but a lot of that will help you to advance in your company. And part of that, so we're going over leadership, teamwork, because you're going to do all your projects, most of your projects in teams, which helps working with conflict resolution, communication, and you also have class in strategic thinking. So business plans and entrepreneurship. So that will help you advance in the company once you're there or if you're already there. So here are 3 more pictures of the Silicon Valley Innovation Challenge. We did pretty well that year. Grace and Vivi got the first prize in that place, and they come up with a company called Origin. And what they did is they connected the drugs with depressive disorders. So they said what genes people have, the certain depressive orders that allows them to be treated better by certain drugs. So they did a lot of work on that and had some AI. And then we have here the group that got the 3rd place. Here, their company was called Speculate. And this is Janhavi, Anjali, Apurva, and Kushali. And they came up with a device that they could take a restaurant, stick it in your food, and determine if there's anything that causes you allergic reactions. So that's another one. And then we have Colin and Arisa, and they are also part of the stem cell program, and they talked a little bit about storage of data and how you can store data. So there's a lot of ideas. I mean, a lot of ideas people came up with, and so there's a lot of possibilities. So what's the MBT value to you? Why would you want to come? So a lot of it, some of it is transition. It allows you transition into the biotech company. Or transition to higher job. A lot of people that have come to us from companies will get promoted to senior positions pretty much within the first couple of years. So we have a lot of that. There will be promotions, as I said. You get established and you will establish your network. So we do a lot of networking. We force people to go out and network, and you will also be able to develop your skills. So there's quite a few things that we are able to help you with, but of course you have to work with us on it, and then we'll see where we can go. So here's some of our alumni. And here you can see this is Beverly. So she always wanted to do project management. She's now a senior project management associate. Leah is from Argentina, and she works as an implementation coach. Vinayak is a senior predictive data analyst. He started in a lower level, and that's what he always wanted to do. Jessica is a senior medical operations manager. And we also have people that work in the lab. So we have research associate twos, and there's a sales and marketing manager, Jake. And Tafneet always wanted to get off the bench, and so he's now in custom production at Twist. So there's a lot of possibilities. There's a few more. So these are a lot of people that took the stem cell program. Well, Davina is in project management, so a lot of project managers. Philip was in the stem cell program, and he's now Research Associate 3. Actually, Colin transitioned into business, and there's one intern we have, and so there's some sales and other things. So there's a very large variety of areas that people go into that graduate from the program. And also people can go on to get a PhD if they want to, if that's what interests them. So you don't have to necessarily go in the biotech industry. So here's your application deadline that's coming up. So this is the last official webinar. So the deadline is April 1st. And for everybody that wants to apply, you have to do the following thing. You have to go to Cal State Apply at this particular link. You have to submit your official transcripts, your GA, statement of purpose, resume, and 2 letters of recommendation. So while you do the official transcripts and GRE to them, you should send me an unofficial copy of all these other ones. And you can have your letters of recommendation sent directly to my email, right? So if you have a question, you could definitely email me. But you do have to send your transcript to Cal State Apply. Because the university has to admit you first. Then we have for the international students, the university likes the WES evaluation, which is the World Evaluation Service. So your transcripts need to come from the WES service. We also need a TOEFL or IELTS. We're looking for like a higher score in the TOEFL because you do a lot of writing. So we're looking for like 90%. It has to be quite a lot of writing. Then for the international students, also they need a financial declaration and a passport copy. So if you need the F2 from the university, you need to provide these documents. If you're domestic, you don't need that. So there's the link for domestic international application. So those are where you got to go. And then this one is the last slide. So let's see if I can answer any questions. But here are our graduates. Normally we go to the Rotunda, which is in the City Hall, and we have a graduation at the end of your 2 years. We have a piano player, and we have everybody hooded, and these are the people happy and ready to work, that they just embark on a new career. So down here, you see my email. You probably have it already, so you can email me if you need a copy of the slides. You can also email me with any questions. So that was what I had. So I'm gonna stop sharing and see if I can answer questions. If I can't, then you can also email me. Let's see what I can do. Let me get this over with. There we go.
Yes, so I actually, someone else talking? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually had a question about some of the internships, the internship pathway. So when you say, that we have a summer internship course, can we take that course as well as do an independent internship? Do you provide pathways for those, internship companies like maybe Amgen or something like that?
Well, I mean, it's normally, if you manage to find an internship, then that will be, we give you that credit for that. So we don't give you the internship. You normally have to find the internship. We try to give you connections and set you up for interviews and get you ready. And then once you have it, everybody has to enroll into 280. So that is your internship course.
Okay, thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. And I also had one more question, actually, kind of about the application requirements. So how, how would I say this? I guess how important is it to have like a good letter of recommendation or solid GRE scores, things like that?
So we normally look very hard at the writing score because we have a lot of writing to do. Anything from regulatory affairs to our writing classes require writing. So we'd like to have a solid score in the writing. So solid is probably at least 3.5. So we're looking for 4. And the letter of recommendation is also important because we're trying to see how you're engaged. What's the reason you want to do this? You know, are you really interested, or is it just, you know, because you don't want to do anything else? But that's kind of what we're trying to look for. And so if the person writes you a good letter, that's great. We also, if you get your letters, we also will evaluate them, and then we'll decide if we want to interview you. So you also have an interview as part of the process.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.